Hey everybody, welcome to the sheet pan salmon cooking class. Today we're going to be making sheet pan salmon along with lemon fingerling roasted potatoes and an arugula salad. It's going to be fantastic. Let's get started. So since the salmon will cook a lot faster than the potatoes will, we're going to poke them all and then put them in the microwave for a few minutes to pre-bake them before we roast them. Let's get started with that. So I'm just using a little paring knife and I'm poking the potatoes just so they don't explode all over my microwave. And this just helps dinner get on the table a lot faster for a one-pan meal. So there we go. All poked, and then I'm going to put them in my microwave, and I'm going to microwave them for about 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes depending on the heat of your microwave. So while our potatoes are microwaving, we're going to go ahead and start on the sheet pan salmon. I have a sockeye salmon fillet that is wild caught, and I'm going to just open up the package and get it ready to put on the sheet pan. But first I want to drizzle the pan with a little bit of olive oil so it doesn't stick since mine still has a skin on it. Get a little drizzle of olive oil. Not too much because we're going to also make the dressing for the salmon that has a little bit of olive oil in it. Just enough so that you can lay it down and you don't have to worry about it. All right. It looks fantastic. So lay it right there in the middle. Oop, I see a bone. If you see any visible bones, you can go ahead and pull them out if you want to. Otherwise, you can leave them in and just be cautious while you're eating it. I actually keep a pair of tweezers in my kitchen that are only used for fish. I always think that's a cute little kitchen tip to have. Otherwise, when you cook it, you just have to be careful that you don't eat it. All right, so now that we have our salmon in our pan, we're going to go ahead and make all the yummy toppings for it. Then we'll put the roasted potatoes around it and we'll put it in the oven and cook it. All right, so I'm going to start by chopping 1 red pepper. And you want to make the pieces pretty small, but not like super tiny, just nice and small. And then we're going to put this right on top of the salmon once we get it all chopped up. All right, now that we have this almost chopped up, we're going to go ahead and lay it on top of the salmon. Just garnish the top of it like this, and you're kind of going to make a little pile of all the toppings on top of the salmon. And they'll get to bake right with the salmon in the oven, and it'll be delicious. If your fillet is bigger than mine, you may need to cut it in half and arrange it so they're side by side on the pan. It just depends on how big your salmon is. All right, now that the peppers are chopped, we're going to go ahead and chop the red onion. And they usually make me cry, so hopefully today it won't be a spicy one. My daughter doesn't like chopping onions either, and she wears her goggles from chemistry class. I think that is such a great idea because they can be so spicy. I don't know, if you have any tips or tricks for chopping onions that help them to not be spicy, let me know. I've heard you should rinse them under cold water, and I've tried it and it's never helped me. But maybe you guys know a good tip or trick for that. Otherwise, I just try to chop it as fast as I can without chopping my fingers. All right, same thing. You're gonna just sprinkle it right on top of the salmon. And you can use a full red onion or less, depending on the size of your fillet. I'm gonna use probably not the whole onion, but maybe like 3/4 of it, just because this fillet is not super huge. All right, and I'll sprinkle the rest of them right on there. And it's okay if some fall off of the top of the salmon because it will mix in with the potatoes while they're cooking. My potatoes are done in the microwave, so I'm going to turn my oven on now to 375 degrees to get ready to put this all in. We're almost ready. So when the potatoes come out of the microwave, we're going to go ahead and chop them into pieces because sometimes they're a little bit big. And then we're going to put them into a bowl and we're going to make a dressing for them, and then we'll arrange them around the salmon. Okay, so I'm going to add some salt and pepper. potatoes. Then we're gonna give them a nice drizzle of olive oil. And the juice of 2 lemons. Add all the juice from your lemons to your potatoes. Try not to get any seeds in there, and if you do, just go ahead and pick them out. It's okay. And then you're gonna toss the potatoes with the lemon juice and the olive oil, and you're gonna let them sit in it for just a few minutes so it absorbs that flavor, and then we'll put them on the pan with the salmon. All right, get them all down in the juice and we'll just set it aside for a minute. Okay, now let's make the dressing for the salmon. I'm gonna get a little bowl, and to it I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of honey and the juice from 1 lemon and a drizzle of olive oil. And you don't have to measure the honey, you can just kind of eyeball it if you want to. Otherwise, please feel free to go ahead and measure it. You want it to be at room temperature or a little bit warm, just so that it will melt into the olive oil. And we're doing salt and pepper. And a drizzle of olive oil. And then the juice from 1 lemon. And if your lemon isn't very juicy, feel free to add more. These are pretty juicy lemons, so I think we're gonna be good with 1. All right, now we're gonna give it a whisk. Smells good already. I can't wait to eat this sheet pan salmon. All right, you want it to be all emulsified and blended together. And if you have any lemon seeds in there, go ahead and get a spoon and just go ahead and scoop them out. Now we're gonna pour this right over the salmon part of our sheet pan dinner, just like that. All right, now that our potatoes have sat and marinated for a little bit, we're going to toss them with a little bit of Italian seasoning and then put them all around our salmon. So you don't need very much, just a couple pinches of Italian seasoning. And then I think it's easiest to use my hands to mix it all together. All right, then you're gonna just lay them on the pan, and I like to put the cut side down so that it gets nice and roasty. And don't worry if the dressing for the salmon is on your pan and getting into the potatoes. It will all be delicious together, I promise. It's kind of like Tetris, organizing them all to fit in a pretty pattern, which is of course totally optional. All right, that looks fantastic. I'm gonna rinse my hands real quick, and then my oven is almost preheated, so I'll be ready to put it in the oven at 375. All right, my oven is preheated, so I'm gonna pop this baby in the oven, and while it's cooking, we'll go ahead and make the arugula salad. All right, so now we're gonna make our arugula salad. It is super light and delicious, and it pairs so yummy with the salmon. So first I'm gonna start off with a few handfuls of arugula. I usually estimate about 1 good handful per person in your family, so if you have more people, add more handfuls, and then just adjust the dressing accordingly. All right, so there's a couple people in my family, so I'm just gonna put in a few good handfuls of the arugula, just like that. And then I have the juice of 1 lemon in here, and we're gonna give it a little drizzle of olive oil. For 1 lemon, I'm guessing about 1/4 cup. If you wanna use 2 lemons, depending on your size of your salad, you can add more olive oil accordingly. And now we're gonna do some ground pepper. And a little pinch of salt. And we're gonna give it a whisk. Get it all nice and mixed up. It sort of gets a little bit light and airy when it's ready. And that looks delicious. All right, now I'm gonna pour it over my arugula and mix it together so it all gets coated. And honestly, I think the best way to do it is with my clean fingers, just so it all gets nice and coated in there. Yum. And to finish the salad, I just have some shaved Parmesan Reggiano cheese that I'm gonna put over the top. And that is gonna be like the perfect little salad to go with our salmon. And give it a nice stir in there so that it gets all through your salad. All right, our sheet pan salmon is all done and I just pulled it out of the oven. It smells fantastic and it's gonna go so good with this arugula salad. I really hope you like this sheet pan salmon class and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a great day.